I'd like to just start by associating myself with Councillor Bangor and Councillor Knowles' comments, thanking the finance team for their excellent job on this budget. Also, Councillor Hilton for the tremendous job he's done, and I wholeheartedly associate myself with his comments. I think it's important to remember that, of course, this budget was formulated on the back of a far-reaching, wide-ranging and open consultation. So it is perplexing and disappointing to hear politicking around the lack of engagement and participation. And instead, what we've had, sadly, from many members of the opposition is bizarre metaphors around turkeys and pigs, and even earlier this evening, the dog seemingly took the blame. And if we want to stick with this bizarre animalistic metaphor, the big elephant in the room here is the fact that, as some of my colleagues have made reference to, no amendments, no proposals, no suggestions, no ideas, no solutions. And you see no amount of rhetoric, hyperbole, platitudes, well-prepared speeches which haven't really taken in the broader considerations can detract from that inescapable fact. But let's talk about the issues that matter. And let's talk about adult social care, health and children's services, which I have the privilege to be the lead member for. At the heart of this budget, as Councillor Hilton said, is about protecting vulnerable people and furthering service excellence. And that is exemplified by the fact that we have a budget in adult social care, health and commissioning going up by £2 million. That's not spin, that's a fact. And in children's services, a budget going up by £1.4 million. That's not spin, that's a fact. And building on a very positive set of independent ratings from Ofsted and CQC, that's not spin, that's a fact. And I thank my colleagues in adult social care, health and children's services for the tremendous job they're doing, particularly during this difficult pandemic. I will continue to be positive for you, and I will continue to congratulate the work you're doing. And let's take one example in this budget. Let's take DASH, domestic abuse stops here. We know, sadly, domestic abuse has increased during this pandemic. In this budget, we've taken a decision to put in additional amounts of money to ensure that DASH can continue to have the same level of funding, should any of their grant funding from other bodies fall through. That's not spin, that's a fact, and that's a very, very important fact. And let's come on to opportunity and innovation to maximise not just life chances and health outcomes and enablement and independence and public health. Let's look at that. So let's talk about reablement that Councillor Hilton talks about, keeping people out of hospital and in the community, investing, as we have been doing, more in our social work programme. That's not spin, that's a fact, a very important fact. And let's talk about transformation. It would appear I was dug out earlier. I'm quite happy to say it's a fantastic word, a brilliant word, no dirty word there. It's very, very positive indeed, and it's what we should be doing, because we need to embrace technological change. We need to embrace best practice and evidence in order to further these vital services. We're doing that with family hubs. We're following what the Children's Commissioner report said. We're following the APPG report on it, which included Liberal Democrat members of Parliament. And then, yes, in terms of day centres, again, we are looking at the evidence. The Department of Health issued a document a long time ago called Valuing People, a New Strategy for Learning Disability. And in that, it talks about the need to have a more blended approach. Other local authorities have done that, and they have seen significant improvements as a consequence. I would like to thank Councillor Carroll da Costa for some of her constructive comments. Others could learn from her. And we can, without question, reassure on the need to undertake consultation, which underpins the principles of what we do. We have to do that by law with the Care Act. We do it because it's ethically the right thing to do. And we should embrace those consultations to look at the evidence and data to make the best possible decisions. And that also includes looking at better commissioning, not just always going for the same old block contract. What can we do better? What can we do differently? And let's talk about young people. There's so much in this budget that is about young people, whether it be continually resourcing our youth services, our schools, also looking at an ambitious mental health strategy. And I want to make reference to what was said earlier by the petitioner. Just to be clear for everyone, I don't ask Alexa, I ask young people. And the tune they sing, given it's their world, and particularly their future world, is a vital and critical selection. It's a rock and roll tub thumper, to follow the analogy through. And they're tub thumping in their analysis to me that they agree with Councillor Coppinger's policy and they agree with Councillor Stimpson's unequivocal, inexorable focus on climate change. That is a mandate. Young people matter. It's more than a mandate, it's a responsibility. And as we talk about melodies and tunes, I just regret deeply the depressing downbeat and negative tune we've heard from some in the opposition this evening. And the deer of negativity and melancholy, political point scoring, politicking, misplaced in every single sense as we go through a crippling pandemic and seek to go through to the other side. I think it's very, very disappointing. As Sir Winston Churchill once said, you can distinguish between a pessimist and an optimist as follows. The pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. A cynic can chill and dishearten with a single word, but we will continue to be positive for this fantastic borough of ours. We will continue to seek out its potential and its excellence, and we will continue to protect vulnerable people during this difficult time, because that is the right thing to do. And I therefore strongly and wholeheartedly commend this budget. Thank you.